Hello, everyone. It's so fun to see everyone. Our repeat guests and our new guests. It's so fun. Welcome, friends. Chiming a little bit at the top of the hour here, so we can all begin to get settled. Welcome. So my name is Stacy Sims, and I'm the founder of The Well, and that includes mindful music, mindful poetry moments, and other offerings. And as many of you know, this is our fourth week of a virtual gathering to celebrate poems that have become a part of our mindful poetry moments because of our partnership with the beautiful On Being Project, Civil Conversations with a high five to the new Poetry Unbound podcast. So the way our format works is that we will, at the top of our hour, we have a contemplative moment that'll include a reading of the poem. We'll then talk about the poem and then do our own creating and writing time. Today we're going to do a little collective writing as well as a little private writing and then some sharing. And then we hear the poem again. So that's how it works. So I am super excited today to introduce our top of the hour contemplative guest host, Alan Lightman. And Alan is a physicist, author, humanist, and now friend. Alan and I got connected through a literary agent who, Alan was working on a book that celebrated the importance of silence, and we got connected that way. And then Alan has a beautiful foundation in Cambodia where I get to go every year to do work, and a bunch of folks who are on this platform today have been to visit, and we got to work with Alan last year, all of which we will share more of in the email that follows this. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Alan Lightman. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Stacy. Well, thank you, and I'm honored to be part of this group and to be speaking to you at the top of the hour. And so I want to say hello to everyone. I am going to talk to you just a bit about the inner life, and then I'm going to play a very unusual drum for you that I've had for about a year, for a couple of minutes. We all, of course, are keenly aware of all of the suffering that has been caused by the coronavirus, and all of the people who are out of work, struggling financially. And many of us are fortunate enough to be able to stay home, even though that is also a hardship. But I think that staying home gives us an opportunity to slow down. The world has gotten far too fast for its own good. The world rushes around from A to B with people dividing up the day into 10-minute units of efficiency. And we just do not give ourselves time to sit quietly and reflect. And I think one of the things that we have an opportunity to reflect on is what I call our inner life, our inner self. And I imagine that everybody here in this special group is very much in touch with your inner self. For me, my inner self is the part of me that imagines, that dreams, that lets my mind wander, that thinks about who I am and where I am going and what is important to me. And when we just live this very frantic paced life that most of us live, we do not have time to think about what's important to us and who we are. So the virus, amidst the many bad things that it is causing, it has given us the opportunity to slow things down and to just get centered within ourselves and think about what's important to us. So I wanted to play for you a couple of minutes on an unusual drum. It's called a Rav Vast, V-A-S-T. This is a picture of it. It's a steel drum, and it was designed by a Russian engineer in about 2013. Each panel here is a note, but what's special about this design is that inside of the drum, that each panel is divided into several sections so that you hear not only the fundamental note, but you hear several overtones. And what that does is it gives each note a very rich sound. So I'm going to play for you a couple of minutes. What I'd like you to do is to mute yourself. Stacy and I discovered a couple of days ago that the sound doesn't come through properly unless everybody is muted. And this really depends on every single person, every one of you, to mute yourself. If you have headphones or earbuds and put those on, the sound will be even better. But the first thing to do is to mute yourself. And I'll just wait for a minute to give everybody a chance to get muted. Is everybody muted? Do you know how to mute? Okay, well, I'm going to assume that everyone is muted now, and I'll just play for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll read the poem. You might want to close your eyes. You want to make sure that you're in a quiet space in your house. Well, I think you can unmute now.
Would you like to read us the poem, Alan?
Yes, I will.
Beautiful, thank you.
Did that come through the right way, Stacy?
Yeah, I heard some stutters at the beginning and then it smoothed out. I think once the tone lifted enough, it became fluid. So it was beautiful, thank you.
Okay, good. Well, it's my pleasure to read this poem, Alive, by Naomi Shihab Nye. Dear Abby, said someone from Oregon, I'm having trouble with my boyfriend's attachment to an ancient gallon of milk still full in his refrigerator. I told him it's me or the milk. Is this unreasonable? Dear Caroline, my brother won't speak to me because 50 years ago, I whispered a monkey would kidnap him in the night to take him back to his true family. But he should have known it was a joke when it didn't happen, don't you think? Dear Board of Education, no one will ever remember a test. Repeat. Stories, poems, projects, experiments, mischief, yes, but never a test. Dear dog behind the fence, you really need to calm down now. You've been barking every time I walk to the compost for 2 years, and I have not robbed your house. Relax. When I asked a man on the other side if you bother him too, he smiled and said no. He makes me feel less alone. Should I be more worried about the dog or the man?
Thank you, Alan. That was fantastic. So I'd love to be able to, if everybody could pull up their chat screen at the bottom. So rather than talking a lot about the poem from my point of view, what I would love to do today is lean into the creativity and the curiosity and the generosity of each of you in this group and do a little bit of play, kind of like a exquisite corpse, although it won't be systematic in terms of how we're responding to one another. But we'll sort of warm up our writing muscles by doing a living poem in our group chat. So following the format that we've been gifted in this beautiful poem, Alive, let's write in, each of us, dear fill in the blank. What is the, who are you writing to, and what is it that you need to say or that you have a question about? And as I try to encourage when I get to hold space in this way, this is more about flow than perfection. So take a few moments and write your dear so-and-so. Mm. And let's take a second as this is getting filled in. Each of us spending a little bit of time scrolling. Mm. Mm. I think it's already a poem, even just with the deer names. Who we're writing to. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be so much fun. So, oh my gosh, so beautiful. A new invitation. If you are still reading the replies, if you're still working on your first question, if you need to just sit back and be still in yourself, that is perfectly fine. Yet I have one new prompt for us. In our materials that we shared, our response poem idea for this week was from Naomi Shihab herself, saying, when you're in a very quiet place, when you're remembering, when you're savoring an image, when you're allowing your mind calmly to leap from one thought to another, that's a poem. I was thinking when Alan was talking about the drum that perhaps the image is that singular note and the overtones are the poem that meander out of the sound of the image. And I went this morning when I was thinking about today, and I looked back at my Einstein's Dreams book by Alan, which is an exquisite text for any time, but particularly this one, which is a time sculpture. I think a poem is a time sculpture. They refer to trauma-informed care and holding space as sculpting time. So I think we're all working in this poetic shamanic way. But in one of the chapters of this book, Alan, that the title is 15 May 1905. It begins, imagine a world in which there is no time, only images. A child at the seashore, spellbound by her first glimpse of the ocean. A woman standing on a balcony at dawn, her hair down, her loose sleeping silks, her bare feet, her lips. An osprey framed in the sky, its wings outstretched, the sun rays piercing between feathers. I skipped a sentence because I couldn't pronounce all those words, Alan. So it's an entire beautiful chapter comprised completely of images. Let's share some images as our second prompt. Mm. So these are so beautiful, all of them. And so I encourage us now, we're going to take 12 minutes or so and use the poem alive as a prompt. Use the prompt of an image morphing itself into a poem, or use this source material of beauty that we've just been given and create you could create, if you wish, a collective poem out of some of the questions and phrases and images that have been shared. No possible way to do it wrong. But let's hunker down to do some writing, and I'll chime in about 12 minutes. All right, friends. So I would love to open up the chat again and hear from anyone who would like to share. Christine. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
How are you today?
Thanks. I wasn't gonna share, and then I just had this nudge that maybe somebody on the call is what these people are to me and needed to hear this letter. So, dear Seamus and Sarah, I wrote you here not because your names are resonant, though they are, because I think of you both like sponges absorbing the world's suffering, like charcoal that sends it back out purified. Are you weary now with the world's suffering? Maybe do not bother with the dishes tonight and have the kids eat buttered bread for dinner. The world needs your gift to transmute stress into compassion, and it needs little else from you. So rest. And I will chime your names to echo out like a mantra of healing for the lost.
Thank you, Christine. Beautiful. Mahip, am I saying that right? We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much. Dear mind, let me be free. Let me write in flow. Let me just go. Creativity feels dead. Distraction so easy. How can I be present? How can I be in this moment? Sounds may come and pass away, but absence of sound is always here. Time may begin and get over, but absence of time is always near. Thoughts may pop up and get crazy, but emptiness of mind is my true nature. Clouds may be dense and full of thunder, but the sky is right there the moment you surrender. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Troy, we'd love to hear from Troy.
Mahip, the absence of time. Oh man, thank you. I want to rewrite my poem now. Here we go. Dear Internet, do you hear us all at once or in slices? Can you see the lilac behind the fence pickets or only a length of pixels to be puzzled over? Does your sense of time even allow you to access our overtones? Is any living note of our cosmic song ever long enough for you to savor? Or are you trying to match up the billions upon billions of notes like a child trying to shuffle cards or Lucy packing chocolates from the conveyor belt? Aren't you ready for a nap? Do you even know what this background symphony of birds, quarter to whole notes, staccatos, echoes, interrupted conversations can sound like? The joy of being met by it all at once. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, Troy. Emily Little.
Thank you. I'm outside, so I risk both children from inside and birds from outside. Dear Earth Day, what am I doing the other 364 days? How could I possibly fit 365 celebratory days into one 24-hour period? How could I bury a loved one with your dirt and only remember her 24 hours? How could I dance in moonlight and stop at midnight? Only Cinderella had to stop. Earth, you are not my fairy godmother's magic. You are real. My flesh, the soil, the sound of cicada, icy mountain waterfalls that I drink too fast, and my chest tightens because how can you, Earth Day, be over tomorrow? How can I beg for tomorrow, but also keep it away so that I can celebrate you again and again and again? Dear Earth Day, why are we rushing you? We can't, and we know we can't, because you don't work in this time. You sculpt time, building from roots and ground, humus and the decomposed, spreading upwards and outwards, and here we are, shredding you. Of course, the obvious ones, the greedy, the decadent, the lazy, the powerful, the scared, the tired, the rushed, the pressured, but also us. We want you so badly to survive. We want so badly to survive that we've filled all the hours of the day with internet entertainment, bands honoring you, celebrities pressuring you, Indigenous people protecting you, all of us standing up for you. And really, I just want to watch the mockingbird bother the crow as it hops on the roofline.
Emily, spectacular, really moving. Thank you. Rana, tell me how to say it when you come on live.
Hi, can you see me and hear me?
There you are. Oh, friend.
It's Raina.
Raina.
Yes, my parents didn't put an I in there, unfortunately. So this is incomplete, but I'm still going to share it. Dear man who loves me, do you know your power upon the rising and falling tides? Dew breaker and dusk, the incline of deep quiet. We climb deeper into that silence daily, knowing the stone grounds the skin under our feet. Dear hands who love me, do you know what it means to be tired and held? Do you know what it is to be this skin and felt? The mutual ways we remind ourselves of our own aliveness, our own Black aliveness in a barren place. Dear eyes that see me in the darkness, that trace my silhouette in the blue light, pouring through the night framed window.
Thank you, Raina. Good to see you.
You too.
Thank you. Hannah?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Here is the poem. The moment before I gasp, thought preceding action, encapsulated in the widening of eyes, punctuated by questions. Who now? When? Which hospital? Again and again, like the refrain of an earworm I can't shake out of my mind, my head shakes. The tears from my eyes are gasping from lack of control as I teeter on a gasp. Thank you.
That was so beautiful. They're all extraordinary. You are all extraordinary. Ana Martinez Amos.
Hi, yes. These are spectacular. So thank you for the opportunity to read mine. National Park Week in the time of COVID. My backyard has become my national park. I step outside and I am dazzled by its gifts. The song of the mockingbird from atop the mesquite tree. The eruption of color from the wildflowers in the sunny corner. The lizard sunning itself from the roof of the abandoned doghouse. The smell of my neighbor's freshly cut grass. The stillness of the live oak as it sends its roots deeply. The hope it gives me that this earth continues her wisdom despite my species' folly. Thank you.
Okay, can you, and now am I talking? I mean, I know I'm talking, but can you hear me? Okay. So hard to be the host. These are extraordinary. Isti from Indonesia, our friend is back again. Would you like to?
Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, please. Little louder.
Okay. Thank you for the chance again. This is my second time. Okay. Dear God, if you do really exist, why do you love to make us have bunches of whys? Why do you let my lips spell the word help if you always see us? Why do you like to hear us begging to you even when it's hard, so hard, just to breathe? Why do you make me say the words stop that have been said by Elie Wiesel in his book Night when he suffered from Holocaust, when he begged to not be shot by Nazi? Why do you turn me to question kindness when being kind is not enough for right now? Why do you hesitate to knock the door of those who selfly proclaim themselves as gods and goddesses? And why do you choose to punish each and every single of us, including the innocents, while the strong and selfish still can have limitless choices to breathe, live, and hide peacefully? Why, God, do you actually listen to us and choose to not respond at all? Do you teach us to educate us as always through your silence, your quietness? They and we say consent is important. But do you think so? Yet, you give no consent for us to decide either we are willing to suffer or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Esti. Beautiful. Now, I may have skipped someone in the line, but I think I'm seeing that Henry is next.
Oh, thank you. In spring, the parts become more meaningful than the whole. The animals and the trees, all natural or man-made things, is one, but as parts. When it becomes truly meaningful is when you notice that deep down, everything is keeping other things alive. That is when the parts are truly most meaningful. You might say, in winter, the whole becomes more meaningful. The snow, the bare trees, you might say it is all one thing. But is it really so different from spring? Nothing is gone. It is all there, just blanket under snow. So are you really right to say that the whole is more meaningful? Actually, though, when you look at not just spring and winter, you might be right to say the whole is most meaningful. Thank you.
Henry, that was fantastic, and I loved your passionate reading. I do hope you will share that with us so we can make sure to feature it later. As with all of you, I hope you, we really appreciate when you write them down and share them with us so we can further share. Let's see, let's listen to one more. Robert, I'm seeing you.
Hi, and I'll turn on my video and come out of hiding for this special moment. Thanks. Dear past, if you get this message, do you ever get tired of us dwelling on you? Would you like room to breathe or even grow into something new? Dear present, hiding in the other room or up the stairs or under my feet, could you come out and play? My letters to dear future remain unanswered, and I know that you'll have something to say. Stand, sit, now stand again, lumbering body eased against the windowsill, fingers dancing in midday light, something wild simmering on the stove. Dear past, when does this become a part of you? Is it instant, or do I have to care enough to write? Thank you.
Gosh, you guys, really spectacular. So what I would love to do is, first of all, thank everyone for being here on our 4th gathering. They've all been spectacular, and today's writing has been extra special. I love the diversity of voices that we've heard today. I'm going to So next week is our final gathering. I'm very excited about it, and I think you're going to be very happy with who we bring to the table to talk about poems and do meditations, etc. I want to thank Alan Lightman. He might have had to get off. He had an interview he needed to do, so pretty spectacular human, and we'll share, if you're not familiar with his work yet, we'll share some links so you can become familiar. As always, thanks to all of the co-hosts from the Cincinnati side. Thanks to On Being, Poetry Unbound, Civil Conversations. Thanks to Naomi Shihab Nye. And to this strange moment that gave us these moments together. I'm forever grateful for that. So what I'd like to do is hear the poem one more time, yet I've heard myself talk too much in this hour, so I'd really love to hear someone else read it, and we'll put it on the screen again. And I noticed that in my chat that C-I-E, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. Are you still here?
Yeah, it's C.
C. Okay, great. I'm going to get, by next week, I'm going to get all these names that I say that I don't know week after week. I'm going to just be bold and say them. So would you mind reading the poem to us, and then I'll chime us all out?
Sure.
And Abby will put that on our screen again.
Great. Okay. First of all, thank you so much. This has been incredible. Loved being here with all of you. So, Alive by Naomi Shihab Nye. Dear Abby, said someone from Oregon, I am having trouble with my boyfriend's attachment to an ancient gallon of milk still full in his refrigerator. I told him it's me or the milk. Is this unreasonable? Dear Caroline, my brother won't speak to me because 50 years ago, I whispered a monkey would kidnap him in the night to take him back to his true family. But he should have known it was a joke when it didn't happen, don't you think? Dear Board of Education, no one will ever remember a test. Repeat. Stories, poems, projects, experiments, mischief. Yes, but never a test. Dear dog behind the fence, you really need to calm down now. You have been barking every time I walk to the compost for 2 years, and I have not robbed your house. Relax. When I asked the man on the other side if you bother him too, he smiled and said no. He makes me feel less alone. Should I be more worried about the dog or the man?
Thank you so much, everyone. As always, please share your poems with Abby. She'll be sending you a follow-up email. And Ali, I don't know. Let us know what we can do to support you. And us means the Well, On Being, the Hive, WordPlay, and the us that is now in us. How can this community now support one another? Hard to say goodbye, right? Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so much.